What if the edges held more power than the center? I am Sandra Matoy. Today, I am documenting something rare. Not just a lecture, but a moment that shifts perspective. The event took place inside 5 Hall right here at the university, a space that came alive with bold questions and even bolder ideas. This is the story of Afrocology, a call to rethink who gets to know, speak, and theorize, and where that journey begins. Theorizing from the margin is not about exclusion, it's a powerful way of reframing truth. Inside the lecture theatre, Professor Winston Manor introduced Afrocology, an approach rooted in African ways of knowing, grounded in lived experience. It asks, why should knowledge always come from the center? Afrocology reminds us that the truth lives in the margins, in ingenious insight, in silence, and in resistance. This is more than theory. This is about voice and justice. At 5 Hall, we weren't just listening, we were confronting uncomfortable questions. Who defines knowledge? Who benefits from the current system? Afrocology flips the script. Dr. Doug Speight, head of the School of Media and Communication, shared whether he believes academia is ready for Central African epistemology, and his answer said a lot.
Does it need to be there? And the answer to that is absolutely it does. So we need to make ourselves ready if we're not, and embrace those kinds of epistemologies, those kind of ideas, and make them part of the work of academia and the work of moving knowledge and ideas forward.
This wasn't a one-way lecture. The room reflected. Thought leaders tuned in and spoke up. Dr. Carl Jones, a senior lecturer in PR and advertising, shared his most powerful takeaway.
I think what Winston has done is his theory of Afrocology, which is an amazing concept that he has sort of created a theory and that he is using to help further the study of Africa. And I think also having Winston here in Westminster, we are the most diverse university in Britain, and having professors like Winston really helps our university and also gives inspiration to African students and to students of color, that they have a place where they can go, speak their mind, and say what they think from their research and their voices.
John Corp, Assistant Head of School for Digital Media Production, offered an outsider's lens, recognizing how transformative this kind of thinking can be, even outside traditional theory.
I think from what Professor Manor had to say, his understanding of it is a place where there is a certain amount of struggle, potential sort of violence, both physical and intellectual, and to a large extent, a lot of uncertainty and argument.
This moment reached across disciplines and resonated in ways no textbook could. So what is Afrocology made up of? It's built on Afrocentric traditions, communal knowledge sharing, storytelling, rhythm, and ritual. In his words, Professor Winston Manor shared how Afrocology began as both a personal and intellectual journey, one that refuses to center the West in every conversation. Afrocology dares to validate what's often dismissed. It makes space for new frameworks to emerge on our terms.
It was inspired by a scholarful disregard of Africa as a source of theories, as a source of ideas. It was speaking to the idea of Africa as a tabula rasa. We are saying Africa is not a blank space. Africa is actually home to theorizations. Africa has a lot of epistemes. I developed this with my colleague at the University of South Africa, Viola Milton. during COVID as a way to begin to take seriously the idea of thinking from the African space.
As the night came to a close, I wasn't just leaving a lecture. I was walking away with what Professor Manor calls critical hope. It's not blind optimism. It's the belief that we can rebuild from the margins using stories we've carried all along. Dr. Leah Mawinkwili, course leader for public relations, captured this beautifully, saying, Professor Manor's work doesn't just shape our curriculum, it inspires our students and it inspires her.
One of the reasons that I wanted a job at the University of Westminster was because of Winston Manor. Because we connected on LinkedIn, and I was like, if this Zimbabwean, can work at a university for more than 20 years, it must be a good place.
We theorize from the margin because we must. Because silence is not neutrality, and because power can be rewritten, page by page, voice by voice. It's not the end, it's the beginning. Sandra Matoy reporting.